All right, so we're going to start off here. What do Orthodox Christians believe? Remember how I talked about a 30-second introduction to Orthodox Christianity? At one level, it's really, really simple. Living a godly life, following the gospel that Christ preached within the church that Christ founded. Just three things. Living a godly life, following the gospel that Christ preached in the church that Christ founded. Sometimes we want to make things very, very complicated, and they can be. But it can be as simple as this. Let's talk about what it's not, because there's a lot of misconceptions about what Orthodox Christianity is, and many of them are wrong. It's not Christianity plus let's have some bells, plus let's have incense, plus let's have fancy clothing and cassocks and vestments and things like that. That's not it. Because we believe that Orthodox Christianity is the fullness of the faith. We don't believe that it's like the Catholics but without a pope. We don't have a pope, that part is true, but we're not missing anything. I'm going to talk a bit more about the pope in the next talk on church history. But what's important for us to say is that Orthodox Christianity isn't something else plus more stuff, and it's not something else minus less stuff. We're our own. We're our own thing. And there's other things too. These bottom dot points are especially for people in my country. Many people know about Orthodox Christianity in my country because of a TV show where they talked about a character becoming Orthodox because he liked the hats, which isn't a good reason. But that's the reason that a lot of people in my country know about Orthodox Christianity, or they've heard about it. And they've also heard about it because it's the religion of an ethnic group. So in my country, Greeks or Serbians or Russians and so on. But this faith is for everyone. Absolutely everyone. Did not Jesus say, "Go into all the world and make disciples of all the nations"? Not just one or two, all the nations. So there's another way of putting this. Orthodox Christianity is these 5 things. It's evangelical but not Protestant. It's Orthodox but not Jewish. It's Catholic but not Roman. And it isn't non-denominational, but rather it's pre-denominational. It's believed and taught and preserved and defended and died for the faith of the apostles since the day of Pentecost almost 2,000 years ago. Now let's go through each one of those, because each one is short and it's snappy, but let's explain it too. So when we say the first one, evangelical but not Protestant, what we mean is that the gospel is at the center of our faith. Whenever we have services, whenever we have the altar table, what takes prime position is the Gospels. Because all of our worship is founded on that. Everything revolves around the Gospels. And so that's why we say we're evangelical. But we're not Protestant because we were never protesting. We were never protesting. The historical Protestants in the 1500s were protesting against the Pope, were protesting against what the Pope was saying. But that's not us. We were never protesting. We were simply the church. The second is Orthodox but not Jewish. So the word Orthodox comes from 2 smaller Greek words. The first part, ortho, is to be straight or true or correct. And then the second part, doxa, is glory, or or faith, because that's part of glory. So the right glory of God is what it is to be Orthodox. But not Jewish. So there are a lot of Jews who consider themselves to be Orthodox Jews. We're different. We're Orthodox Christians. We follow Christ. Catholic, but not Roman. So you know already that we're not Roman because we don't follow a pope. We don't have a one person at the pinnacle of the church. That doesn't happen. I'm going to talk more about that when we talk about ecclesiology in a few talks' time. But it is still Catholic. And we can say this because, again, Catholic comes from two smaller Greek words, kata and olis, according to all. Again, I'm going to go into more detail later, but the word Catholic means that this is according to all, not according to one, but according to all. This is the faith that has been taught by and believed by believers in all places and throughout history. And that's the Catholic faith. And it isn't non-denominational. So there are a lot of non-denominational churches that exist in the world that say we don't have a denomination because we just follow Jesus. That sounds good. But for Orthodox Christianity, we have that link. We have that link to be the church that Jesus founded and to be before all denominations. And lastly, that we have been around ever since Christ and the apostles, all the way back to the day of Pentecost when the Holy Spirit came down on the disciples almost 2,000 years ago.